What's up, guys? I'm here with episode 2 of the Guide to MX Simulator. This episode, I'm just going to get into a little bit of riding strategy and general things you should think about when trying to practice. I was going to show you all the racing websites and how you get into the racing part of this game, but I figured you probably need to learn how to ride before you try to race. So I'm just going to go over basic stuff, nothing specific to any section or anything because those will be separate videos, but I'm just going to teach you like general riding and things like that. So I'm on right now 2013 Salt Lake City Supercross, mainly because it's Supercross season and also because I'm not great at outdoors and it takes me a lot more practice to ride outdoors live than it does to ride Supercross live. So with that being said, let's get right into it. So first things first, riding third versus first person, I'm not interested in which one is faster or which one's easier. In my opinion, whichever one you've started playing with, you should probably stick with because it's going to be really hard to switch to one or the other if you've already been playing with one. So that's going to be my advice for that. And I guess now let's get into strategy when learning a track. The reason I'm on a 2013 track right now is because they're easier for people to learn, although they're really nothing like what you're going to be seeing in the future and what's going on right now as far as the 2014 and 2015 tracks. They're very different, but those are very hard for new people to learn on, in my opinion. So that's why I'm suggesting you ride. Probably 2013 Supercross is going to be best for you if you're just starting out. You're probably going to want to learn on tracks like these. So I remember when I first started, it wasn't really possible for me to even go in a straight line on a Supercross track, and I know a lot of people still have that same problem, and you all just wonder like, how do people go straight? And it's not. A lot of people think it's setup or some secret settings people have, but it really isn't. It's really just practice. Like, whatever setup you're using, you might want to tweak it a little bit, or if you hate your setup, switch to a completely different one, which can be found on the forums, which is what I showed you in episode 1. But once you have a setup, you really need to just stick with it, because sticking with a setup is the only way you get faster, really. If you try to change setups all the time, you're going to lose your technique, and it's going to be hard for you to get used to them all the time. So that's why you should really just stick with a setup. So now I guess I'll go over like basic riding, just for overall around the track. As you can see, I've just been kind of cruising around right now, like not even trying to do any lines whatsoever. I'm just trying to go straight, basically. That's what you should really do when you first start out. Don't try to go fast. Don't try to do anything crazy. Just try to go straight. And I promise you, if you do that, eventually speed comes with a lot of practice. But you really need to be able to do laps without falling before you can start going really fast. Like, see, as you can see right now, I'm going extremely slow. Like, this is not fast at all. And really, that's the key to learning how to play, is going very slow and making sure you don't fall. Doing big lines, stuff like that, you need a lot of practice to hit those without falling every lap. So with that being said, I'll start going a slightly bit faster, but although it's really hard for me to go even remotely quick and talk at the same time, as you can see. But alright, so what I'm going to do right now is just go through a lap and generally give you an idea on how to tackle random sections, very generally. Nothing is going to be in depth because those will take time in separate videos to do. But so first off, let's hit a corner, and what you do when you enter a corner is basically, depending on how much speed you have, you probably need to slow down slightly, obviously. But if you're coming in hot, what you want to do is lean forward and turn whichever direction the corner goes. So say the corner is right, you're going to lean forward and turn your bars right. So I'll kind of go over a corner going very slowly so you can kind of see how it comes. So you're coming in, what you want to do is sit down, lean forward, turn. And you come out of the corner just like that. So it's whatever your button for sit down is. I like to sit down in corners. Some people don't. I just feel like it's way easier to get the bike turned if you sit down in a corner. So once again, you come into the corner, sit down, lean forward, and turn. So now I'll try to do it faster. The reason I was doing it so slow right there is because it's hard to talk while you're trying to do it quickly. So you're coming in fast, and lean forward, turn, and carry your speed out. It's very important to carry your speed. Don't try to cut down the corner. You want to, again, lean, don't cut down, carry your momentum through, and come out. So that's basic cornering. Of course, I'll do more in-depth videos on all of these things later. But for jumping, I know a lot of people have problems with endoing, and really that's also just practice with throttle control and what gear you need to be in. But you shouldn't have too many problems with triples. You kind of just go over them. And as you can see, 2013 tracks are very slippery, so that's pretty hard to get used to also. I just hit a whoop section without talking about it, but whoops are a beast of their own. Whoops are always different. You always have to hit them differently. But for 2013 tracks, really all you need to do to get through them is go first gear and don't touch anything. And you'll get through them. But you won't get through them quickly. You'll just get through them. My technique is what most people do when you try to go faster. And it's a technique that'll work for most whoop sections with obviously slight adjustments. But what I do is when you come into a whoop section, I like to lean backwards on each whoop individually. So I don't hold my backup key, which is not a key, it's my analog stick. I don't hold the lean back down. Like, this is what some people do, is they'll lean back and just hold it down, which can work for you. But a lot of whoop sections you can't do that in. 2013 it should work fine, but newer stuff it's not going to work. So what I do, and what you should probably do just to get practiced, is lean back individually on each whoop. So each time I'm going to hit a new whoop, I press my lean back down. And that just allows you to go a little bit faster through it and to make sure that you don't fall down. It's a really good way to save it, because if you just hold it down and lean back the whole time, you can't really do anything to save it. But this way you can kind of like angle yourself and fix it if you're losing control, like I was right there. So that's it for whoops. Jumps, like I said, endoing is a thing that just you learn to not do in practice. It's nothing I can just tell you. But if you are absolutely unable to jump without endoing, what I would do is, I guess, try to lean back once you take off from the jump, not on the jump face, because that can lead to more problems. But once you're about to take off, lean back like I just did, and you'll usually not endo even if you have problems endoing. Generally, I think that's a good overview of how you're supposed to think when you're riding, what you should be doing. This is nothing to go fast yet. This is just to try to go straight and get through a track. The fast stuff will come much later in the series. But yeah, like I said, these tracks are very slippery, and if you can get used to how slippery these are, you'll have no problems with the new traction on the newer tracks, because it's much easier to corner without sliding on those. So for this tutorial, that's going to be it. Thank you guys for watching. I know it was super basic, and a lot of people don't need this kind of help, but I know a lot of other people do need this kind of help. So stay tuned for more advanced things and different types of things, not just riding tutorials. So those will be coming out. Like I said, I'm trying to do 2 a week at least. This week's probably going to be more because I'm getting the series off the ground. But stay tuned, and hopefully this helps some people out a little bit with just strategy, and I'll see you guys later.